Sunday, Monday, Corey days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Corey days. Corey Day. What a day for YouTube. This content is ours. Scoop along with me those Corey days. Hey, you guys, and welcome to the Steele Hyperchat. It is Friday, the 19th of November. And listen, being the Star Wars insiders that me and Corey are, we held off for 24 hours on doing our regular Thursday stream for news to break about the casting of Sabine Wren in the Disney Plus series. It was a great strategy, Corey. I'm glad you suggested it.
Thank you. I said before we started that we're getting more news today than we did last Friday on Disney Plus Day.
And I said save it for the podcast, which would have been good advice for them as well. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, we've got this Boba Fett trailer. Save it for the Disney Day, buddy. Save it for the Disney Day. But Deadline, I believe, are the first to report this, and we've got so many other things to talk about today. I had all these things to talk about. Kathleen Kennedy re-signing, Disney Plus Day, just passing by, Hasbro stuff, Book of Boba Fett news and rumors. But just minutes before we were going to go, as we planned for 24 hours. I need to backdate some. Can you backdate a tweet? I should have posted a little. If I could backdate
a tweet,
a Sabine Wren, but it is Natasha Lou Bordizzo will play Sabine Wren, and buddy, she's from Australia. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
You could have played Sabine then.
I don't think I've got the hair for it.
I don't know.
Have you got many thoughts about this up front?
Well, I don't think she was ever a part of the rumored list of actresses that was going to play Sabine. I think that's what's the most shocking thing. There was I don't remember any of their names, but I know there was 3 front runners, but she was never in there. So it's interesting because
it's the old story of the tortoise and the hare.
Basically, yeah. And there was a lot of rumors about one individual being cast, and I guess that didn't pan out. But yeah, interesting. I mean, she definitely has the look of Sabine. I think she could pull it off fine. And
again, just another one of those things. We'll talk about this later on. This could have been a little bit of excitement that Lucasfilm gave the fans. It is in Deadline, and then I think it's also in Variety. They've double checked it and stuff. So that, that's pretty official when you get two big ones. However, some people say it isn't official until it's on StarWars.com. But I've seen some things on StarWars.com that never came true. But we'll talk about that later on. But for me, and I know you, Corey, it isn't official until it's been deleted from Rosario Dawson's Instagram account.
Absolutely. Did she post about it?
I had a look. Nothing yet. No word.
Nothing yet.
No word. I also checked a few European countries' Disney Plus Instagram stories, and they remain tight-lipped, Corey.
Did you check the Disney Plus Malaysia YouTube account?
I have not. No, I have to clarify on that.
Okay.
What that was. That was Malaysian Disney Plus, the actual platform. They released it too early. And then just this fan YouTube channel ripped it and a few other early release videos.
Oh, so this was an official Got
it. They had a mocked up logo and stuff, but it wasn't the description is we're a fan account posting videos off Disney Plus.
That makes sense, since in Malaysia it obviously would have been Disney Plus Day. Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and I think on that maybe they just had set the day wrong to release all those videos, because it was about, they had on that YouTube there was about 10 different videos, and they were about like the Mighty Ducks or other Jeff Goldblum. What's he up to?
Got it.
Now it's very exciting, but Corey, as you well know, I'm always looking for those scoops. And I have many connections in Hollywood, right?
You definitely dropped one last.
Well, I'm going to follow it up.
All right.
Because what I've got is some previs of Natasha as Sabine in Ahsoka, right?
Oh, boy.
Now, they haven't done the thing yet. And it's sort of what they're doing now with Ahsoka. They're testing out a new thing where they're filming in the real world, and then they'll CGI things later on. Okay? Now, what's surprising is Zeb. Remember Zeb?
I do.
He's back.
He's back. Okay.
Yeah. What's more surprising is he's played by Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
So in this scene, you'll see Daniel Radcliffe, but it's Zeb, and he's got the feet, and then he's got a jacket on, which will be replaced with Zeb.
Oh, CGI.
And then the thing they're in, that'll be CGI'd as the Ghost. Remember the Ghost? That's
the ship, yeah.
Right. And this is a scene where Zeb's getting chased down by the daughter of Aura Singh. Okay?
Wow, so there's a lot going on there. Okay.
So this is another one where I am risking, complete deletion off the internet, right? So let's check it out. Let's share some screens over here, buddy. Bang. Here we go. So we've got Zeb.
No. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I want to go full screen.
Wait.
So that's Zeb.
That's
right. And he'll be photoshopped. And look, there's Sabine. They've already done her hair.
No.
That's the Ghost. Look, see, there's Zeb's feet. See, they'll be all CGI'd, Zeb's. Look, the hair. See?
I see. Yeah.
They got a CGI it shorter, though,
Sorry, I'm late.
in post.
Stuff.
And look, here's the daughter of Aura Singh. Look, she's back. Carabast! He's saying Carabast! Don't change that in post. Carabast.
Are they going to add his accent in post, too?
Yeah, at all. There's the Ghost.
That's the Phantom?
Oh, no. That was, what's his name? He's dead. Ezra. The death of Ezra. We just spoiled it. We just spoiled the death of Ezra.
That's where Ezra goes.
People are going to be pissed. Sorry.
Wow, yeah. That was very daring to show that now.
That clip was called Ezra's Noble End.
That's an interesting music choice for his Noble End.
Well, it's all, Daniel Santos, that's just, they can't all be backwards, buddy. I only had like 12 minutes to find that clip. How am I going to edit? And I was like, I should. And I'm like, who am I kidding? What's even the point?
We should just be thankful that you were able to leak that. That's such a big scene.
Yeah, right.
The death of Ezra.
Death of Ezra. I was shocked.
Who knew that he was just being played by a drone?
No, he's in it. It'll be bigger. And they'll go to a shot, and it will.
So is he small, or that's just perspective?
Perspective, yeah. Use your imagination.
Okay, got it. Is this in the beginning of the show, or this is like finale material, or what did you show?
Oh, that was like the last 3 minutes of the series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. It's an intense last 3 minutes. Very good.
So, yeah, things. It's just so funny that it came out a week after Disney Plus Day. Exactly.
Well, didn't
wait, you could just have a tweet and then Natasha, if I like, maybe they haven't signed the deal. I don't know. All right, sign the deal. Do something. Just have her going, hey, you'll see me in Ahsoka as Sabine.
Right.
Like, and then people would just be, ah!
What about announcing Hayden too? Like, do her and Hayden on that day? Even like, though the Hayden thing was from Hollywood Reporter and that's as official as it gets, it's like, why not just reconfirm it for Disney Plus Day? There's a thought.
What are you talking about? It's official.
The Hayden Ahsoka casting.
That's official. It was on Rosario Dawson's Instagram.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my official source for Star Wars news and rumors.
Do you think they finally sat down with her and like, listen? We can't market things.
Here at Lucasfilm, we love secrets. Just love them. Love them. So get with the program. Hey, what do you want to talk about next? We've got some Hasbro stuff. We've got Kathleen Kennedy renewing her contracts and Book of Boba Fett stuff from Empire, with I think people jumping to a couple of conclusions about what will be revealed in that about other properties. What's your gander today? Oh, and of course we've got our Disney Plus Day prediction contest. The results are in.
Yeah, I thought I was going to do really good on that. Like, I was so determined to win that. I don't think I lost miserably, I think.
All right, well, I won't leave you wondering, right? Now, out of all we did a prediction show last week, and I do enjoy, I can't remember who it was, but some prick just commented, like, in the last couple of days, well done with the predictions. And I know they're watching now, laughing. Ha 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 ha! Here, just rubbing salt in my eyes.
Do you think that it ended up that watching the show on Saturday was more entertaining for people watching it to see how much we failed? Like, it ended up actually being entertaining.
Well, that is toxic fandom at its most. But so you had a vote, I had a vote, the chat had a vote.
Mm-hmm.
There were. I got rid of the movie ones. We did movie predictions, but it was sort of like they're not going to, like, it doesn't count in the end.
Yeah.
But there were 13 projects or possible projects that you could either say there'd be footage, they'd be mentioned, or neither, which means in Lucasfilm language, they're killed. There's next to that Rian Johnson trilogy.
Did you actually, just real quick to piggyback off that? So apparently there was someone who used to work for Hollywood Reporter that works for a different site that reported on Kathleen Kennedy getting renewed, that also mentioned that Rian Johnson's trilogy is shelved. So the writing was on the wall.
Where else is it? So on the shelf or in a bin?
Yeah.
Because it ain't even a bloody little Disney app.
Yes. I think the writing's on the wall for that trilogy. I think that's yeah.
Just ways to sog off. Okay, so 13 options, right? I like the person that won out of the 13, out of me, you, and the chat, out of the 13, they got 5 right? And all but one of those was saying there'd be no mention of the property.
Mm.
So when they were right, it was kind of sad.
I think I know what you're talking about, and we both went, nah, they'll mention it. They cannot mention it.
How do you not mention it? How do you not mention the Book of Boba Fett?
Oh.
So,
oh my God, dude.
So, with 5 correct, congratulations to the chat. But also congratulations with 5 correct, Corey. And always also congratulations with 5 correct, Steele.
Really?
We all had 5 correct, but we got some different ones wrong. When any of us went slightly positive or optimistic, bum bum, back in your hole.
Oh boy.
Neil asks,
Oh,
whatever happened to the Game of Thrones guys trilogy movie? That has to be a no-go now, right? It is, but they actually said they made an announcement. They parted ways. Check ya. Have fun over at Netflix. And like that's the frustrating thing with the Disney Plus deal is they are like their track record at the moment, it ain't great.
Yeah.
With like, you know, now when people like when stuff's announced, I'm sort of like, well, that would be cool if it comes out. And so when you just ghost so many things, that said, they did ghost the thing that's coming out the next month. That this is the thing. That Book of Boba Fett trailer, that would have eased the pain quite. Like, was the idea to like, oh, let's do it early so it sits apart from everything else? Because that idea was wrong.
Well, and not only that, but like everyone predicted Disney Plus Day would be when that would drop because it made the most sense. And then once it didn't, yeah, the idea is it's like, okay, you're making way for other Star Wars properties to shine, but also drop like a behind the scenes reel for Boba Fett or like a clip from Boba Fett. But don't, the fact that you neglect your next huge Disney Plus Star Wars series that's literally coming out in like 5 weeks. How do you not even show the logo for it to remind people? Like, how is there nothing for Boba Fett? It's just so weird. Like a clip, imagine just a minute clip of Boba in the palace or something to get people like hyped for this show. Because you know what's going to happen is like...
But the thing about it is what could be the possible reason why not? Like, do you know what I mean? Just to have something like Tim Morrison, we're on the set of the Boba Fett. Like, do you know what I mean? We're going to kick out. Like, it's just like to have, like, what's the marketing strategy in nothing for the thing that's coming out? And I know you played the trailer, but like, it's not a mandated, you do not have to have, guys. I've checked with American Congress and the amendments and all that stuff. It's not mandatory that every streaming service has a big promotional day. You don't have to do it. So if you make up some faux holiday, like, hey, I'm an idiot. I'll get up at 6 a.m. and go, yes, it's Disney Plus Day, let's go. But like you did make it up. So let's go. Let's party.
Well, so I saw the Under the Dome thing that they dropped that day, and at the very end, they talk about Book of Boba Fett very briefly, and they showed the same footage from the trailer. And what threw me off about that is like, it kind of shocked me that they didn't talk more about that series and that special, considering like that's kind of a big deal that he's getting his own show. But then like the only way you can watch that is on Disney Plus, so that's not. I wouldn't consider that a Book of Boba promotion.
But it's not just the promotion. It's the fan experience.
And that's exactly, well, and that's...
Like there's always this thing of like, pardon, Corey, about, oh, well, you're going to watch anyway. Of course I'm going to watch anyway, but don't you want my attention or the fans' attention during those other times?
Yeah.
Or do you want them drifting off to, you know, like another fandom? Like there's so much competition for money, like so many different ways to watch and engage and buy and stuff. Like, are you that confident that you can just go, all right, yep, you guys just chill. We'll be back. You'll be back. Like it's that sort of more, and to get more people into the core fandom, like, you know, more diehard fans. That's what you want. Yeah. Like it all counts, but like, do you know what I mean? The more money you can get them to spend, the better. Like that's just like.
Well, look what they're doing with Spider-Man, right? Like they know the hype around that film, and they are dropping fan events and this and that for something they know is going to really get people excited. Even look at what Marvel did with Hawkeye, is they know people are excited for it. It's coming soon. They dropped a full-on 4-minute clip for that show for the fans on Disney Plus Day because yeah, like Disney Plus Day is very much for the fans, I think, and very much to get people excited and hyped up for things. And I think you lose a lot of the fan experience when they don't start doing stuff like that. I mean, even going back to like The Force Awakens, the ramp up to that for the 4 or 5 months till the film was awesome because we were getting trailers and interviews and TV spots and things that didn't spoil the movie, but were enough to get us constantly engaged. I think with Disney Plus, we have completely lost that. Like there's no more teasing and getting hyped. It's all like you'll get a trailer 2 months before, you'll get a magazine cover, and that's it. And it's just, it's for a fandom experience, it makes it lackluster.
Yeah,
and
I don't even think it's like from Disney Plus. Like it's sort of
it's a Lucasfilm thing.
Yeah, it's like, you know, JJ had some really good like releases and plays during the lead up to The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And you know, like all the Omaze stuff and posting the picture of the Falcon to Jerick board when the Falcon had been leaked. And remember there was a note on the Falcons, like stop saying the Falcon's in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, all that stuff. And even like Favreau did a lot of that too in season 1 for Mando, where he'd post like a blaster or a droid or something. And that's like, you get people talking, you get people engaged in it, and it's a fun experience.
Yeah, and I've been saying it for ages, like every Friday or something, there should be like from the desk of Lucas, like, do you know what I mean? And it's something that's happened recently. It doesn't have to be that week, but it's just like a photo of, you know, like a droid or like something that animation's working on, or a prop, or like just something for us to go, hey, this is Leslie Headland writing, or you know what I mean? And it's just something that week that the fandom can talk about. And it's like, just get ahead of all these leaks, because it's like, we appreciate it when it comes from you. It's sort of like there's like an official thing to celebrate around.
I totally agree. I did an interesting experiment with this last week as I've gone out and like ran errands and different things, or Uber drivers or whatnot. I've asked, like, when you get into conversation with an Uber driver, or I got a haircut or whatnot, I'll bring up Star Wars sometimes if they bring it up. And I asked,
what did you say? You got a haircut?
Yes. Well, I went to get a haircut. I talked to the...
How did he know that there's all hair falling on the backseat of his car?
How's that? No, not in the Uber. It was separate. These were separate occasions.
Okay. While you're getting a haircut, you're also...
Right.
I wouldn't be asking anyone cutting my hair about Star Wars, to be honest.
No, it kind of casually came
there's some passionate opinions out there, Corey.
Yeah. And I asked about if they knew about the Obi-Wan series, and the reaction is always, there's an Obi-Wan series, like there's something coming out. Like general like audience goers do not know about this stuff coming out, partially because it's never promoted too. Like you can't expect like Bob down the street to know Obi-Wan's coming out.
Bob down the street.
Down the street, yeah.
I call him Mr. Down the Street.
Mr. Down the Street, love it, even better. Like you can't. It's just the fandom experience is kind of lost with it. The general audience doesn't know what's going on. It's a shame, but I don't think they ever have plans to change that. Honestly, I don't think we'll see that changed. I think it's always going to be like this.
But yeah, I understand the strategy of like, we're just going to promote the next thing, but then they didn't.
They did,
so now I'm confused. And also the event was sort of like, here's the next year, or I don't know, Marvel. I don't know how far ahead, but how do you not even say, hey, next year, or coming soon, Bad Batch 2, like it flips around and then it electrifies. Like I just, it's so like, how do you not, what are the reasons for not doing these things?
Well, here's the weird thing. The really weird thing about Disney Plus Day ultimately is at the very end, after they announced everything, they had a sizzle reel where they showed, I would love to do that, where they showed a like every single logo that they announced something for. And they had one for Bad Batch Season 2, they had one for Andor, they had one for Boba Fett, and they had one for Obi-Wan. And everything else that was announced. So to me, that signifies that it was clear that they had something planned for each of those. Because why else would that be in the Sizzle showing a recap of what they had just talked about? Everything else had been talked about aside from those 3 projects. So I don't know, man. It's just weird because like I do think they had something ready for it, and who knows who knows at the end of the day. But
yeah, and whoever argued against it, you're wrong. You're wrong. Rethink things in the future.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Well, it's been weird to see like a lot of people say, "Well, Disney doesn't owe you anything," and it's like that's not the point. The point is like, do you want a good fandom experience, or do you want to be hyped for stuff? Do you want to do things like have events like Celebration, and all that? Like that's what makes being in the fandom so exciting.
And there's also other things to look at it. Like I always sort of look at like how like the business of Star Wars is doing, and like, do you know what I mean? It's sort of like not just about like the content and stuff, but I've got a fascination with like how it's, you know, marketed and presented and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's sort of like, and it's like better for everyone that's a Star Wars fan to have more Star Wars fans. So it's sort of in the interest of Star Wars fans to track how well they're doing at retaining and growing the Star Wars fandom, and nothing ain't it. I got to tell you.
Yeah. Here's what blew my mind was a couple days before Disney Plus Day, I think for like 3 days straight, Kenobi was trending on Twitter for 3 days straight. And all you saw in response to anything Disney Plus related was Obi-Wan or Star Wars. And it's like, how, like from a marketing perspective, how do you look at that and don't think, maybe we should put something out, or maybe we should put the next Star Wars project out as a tease? And it's just, I don't get it. It's very strange.
Yeah. And there's like, I don't know. I feel it's hard to say, like, did stuff get pulled or what? But when, like, read the room. Like, you're the biggest entertainment company in the world. And if you have to get something together in 3 days, I'm sure it's not hard. Like, I'm sure you've got the resources, and I'm sure you've got a lot of things that would quickly, you know, get chopped up and stuff. And if that's, Disney doesn't work like that, well, stop being such a Titanic. Get limber. Your corporate structure is choking.
I remember when,
but I just want to say, Corey, James Waterman says, have you talked about D23 yet? Is it this week, Corey?
Yeah, so this Sunday, they're doing a D23.
Okay, hold that then.
Yes.
Do you think there might be information, announcements, footage, etc. released this weekend? I think no.
No.
And even if they were, it's like, if they're Disney Plus related, it's not like, they did it then. It's like, no, they built up this day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they built up this day, and the fan experience was for a lot of, you know, pretty, you know, amped fans that aren't sort of out for blood or anything, but it was like a disappointment. It was a, I've actually got something for this, Corey. Wait there. Here we go. This sums it up, Corey. You ready?
You can't deny the vibe check.
You can't deny it.
Yeah. No. Everybody was like, what? Yeah. I like what Seth says here. Like he says, I hate that they don't owe you anything mentality. I agree. It's a weird approach to take to like a corporate entity that.
Yeah. It's not like you're using a response to something that's not there or has been in the past. Like it's not like, that's an easy way to write it off. Or no one hates Star Wars fans more than Star Wars. It's like, well, you've answered everything then.
Yeah.
With this like snake eating its tail.
Well, I also it's interesting. A lot of people are like, well, they never promoted anything for it. And literally on the Star Wars Twitter account, like a month ago, they were like,
"Look it on your calendar, you won't regret it."
It's like, yeah, you won't regret it, is what they said, and it's like, I don't know.
and looking back at my 6 a.m. wake up, I regret it because they didn't even show. I don't even know what time it was, but it was after 9 or something, wasn't it? Doesn't matter. But
yeah. Well, also,
and just also the whole like the day before, what is Disney? Like, where is this? Where is the hub for this? It turns out it was a Twitter thread. Like,
It's bad, man. It's bad. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. We all were losers in the prediction contest. Yeah, the only winners were the communists, I feel like. No advertising.
I love it. Oh, that's a tweet. Yeah.
Okay, Lauren says that Star Wars tweet was probably more for Disney Plus Day. Just my thoughts. But that's the thing. It's like the Star Wars Twitter is saying, hey, mark your calendar for Disney Plus Day, you won't regret it. Like,
Right.
And if it's the Star Wars account, like, it's not like it's a pretty, like, obvious jump to, oh, well, we won't regret it. The Star Wars account's telling us.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Star Wars. Like,
they did the same thing last year for that investors meeting where they sent out a tweet. They're like, you're not going to regret watching the investors meeting. And then we didn't. And so they had this, like, I guess, template already of how to do things. So I fully expected it to be like that this year too. And I'm like, the thing is, they don't have to announce X, Y, and Z shows. Just tell us, like, if at the very least, just show us something from Boba or something that, like, is relevant. It's just Rogue Squadron, am I right?
Hey, and the weird thing is if you weren't a Disney Plus subscriber, you didn't see any Star Wars.
Yeah, but you had a paywall too.
You didn't see anything.
Yeah,
like, it's not on the Twitter. It's not on there. I had a look on the YouTube. It's no go. So yeah, it is. As I say, like when the stuff when it comes out, most of the time it's pretty damn good. But I just feel like that fan experience is sort of, they drop the ball on that stuff. And you know, the logos were in the thing at the end, so it makes you it definitely makes you think that someone doesn't know what someone else is up to.
Yes. Yep.
So I would love to know why the Boba Fett one was 2 weeks earlier. Like, what's up with that? Like, yeah. But you know, we do have the Ahsoka leak at the start of the show, so
Thank you, Deadline. Deadline and Hollywood Reporter.
But just get creative. Like I was not expecting any. I wasn't thinking about Willow as I watched the Twitter thread unveil. But like, just that thing with the cast, like, it's sort of got nothing to do with the show. It tells you nothing, except, you know, who's going to get cast before Deadline tells me. But
yeah,
like, it was entertaining. Like, I was just like,
yeah,
oh,
it's so much fun.
like there's the cast. They seem cool. Like, yeah,
it was a ton of fun. I loved it. Like, and it was like just enough to get you like, ooh, this is a cool cast. It's intriguing. They could have done something like that for Ahsoka.
They could have got Daniel Radcliffe.
Drone
Carabast. Excellent.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Do you want to let's talk about the little Mandalorian? I'm trying to I do have to admit it is it is a vibe check of a week in Star Wars. Like everything I've sort of got. You know, the other thing that isn't a vibe check, you know, Kathleen Kennedy re-signed, but then I wanted to discuss the highs and lows of all that, you know, and that's a vibe check too. So there's checks all around, but we'll proceed. We'll have a good time either way. But I just think
that I just randomly thought of this.
Oh, and the other thing I want to talk about is the bloody Hasbro HasLab thing. That's another raging vibe check.
That's bad. I think so. Today they announced the
Corey, hey, Corey.
You can't deny the vibe check.
You just can't. Hey, I just before we go to this, do you want to see my initial reaction for the Obi-Wan, all the Star Wars footage released on? Okay, here's the closing seconds.
I just bumped my head. I just bumped my head.
Best clip.
I just bumped my head.
Hurts.
That's where we're at.
Let's get to that point. Empire magazine. One of the great Star Wars coverage magazines for decades now. Yes, Lauren, I definitely agree with that. When is Star Wars not a vibe check, Lauren asks. Oh, listen, buddy, you need to check out because occasionally you hit this.
This is why we do it.
But quite often it's this. So it teaches you how to feel and then deal with emotion, I find.
Different lessons.
All the way. So Boba Fett is going to be on the cover. I think it's the December Empire magazine. They did spectacular coverage of the prequel trilogy. I'm not sure if it came out in America, but we got it in Australia. And it's January 2022, but I think it comes out in December because magazines lie, Corey.
They do lie. I've always thought that was strange.
Comic books lie. Oh, my stars. So we're going to have a full spread, 2 covers here. Which is your choice of covers here, Corey? If you had the option, the photo image in front of the CGI Tatooine backdrop or the artistic little spray shadow silhouette deal.
I like the artistic one a lot. That's really cool. That one's cool too, though. But I like seeing the slave one in the back.
I like the photo one because it reminds me of the other covers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like it sort of fits in. Now, it does say, where it is, I got it on my notes up here. And I feel like, there's a lady in an ad here doing some weights. So we'll put that up. Michelle Wooford. Oh, now someone's getting their temperature checked. This ad is very
long.
Yeah, if you're just listening to the audio version, it's terrible. But
that's still going.
There's a Kaiser Permanente ad on the Empire thing. Anyway, I've got to get to this. What am I talking about? Empire. It says it talks about, they're going to talk about Boba Fett and all that. I've got to stop giving this
How long is this ad?
It's forever, I think.
Okay, it's over.
James says that's a medicinal vibe check. Seth says this issue is out on Thursday.
He said that's a medical vibe check.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that's a medical vibe check.
You said medicinal. I thought that was funny.
Oh, did I say medicinal?
Yeah.
Oh, I punched it up a little bit. We've got a little
I
writing.
thought that was funny. I like that.
Okay. So Seth says this is out Thursday. So that's next week, I guess.
So isn't there supposed to be like new images in this too? Usually.
Yeah, they'd have to be. I say that, but it's a magazine article. Do you know what I mean? It's got to have pictures. But I know a lot of people are very excited because it says all that, plus we get a first word on the future of Star Wars small screen empire with Kennedy and Filoni talking Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and more. I've seen this reported that it's going to be the first word we get about these. Hey, they might just be totally open and say all this stuff, and that would be fantastic. but I would expect a very press release-esque reply. Like, I feel their entire reply will be a pull quote in bold somewhere on the spread. Like, I feel like that's how much they'll say about it. Hey, but if they get more out of it, bang, I'm here to talk about it. But I would keep your hopes, because it is like, this is a magazine trying to get people to buy magazines. And you know, if they have to ultra sizzle, it's tough times in magazine time. You know, we've seen they've got to compete with YouTube thumbnails, so they need a bit of sizzle as well. You know what I'm saying, Corey?
Yeah, like, I just love the fact that we're to this point where like a pull quote saying there's going to be more, like, the first word of Obi-Wan is what we have to be like, whoa, what could it be? And it's just, yeah, I agree. It'd be like Kennedy saying, yeah, Ewan McGregor is back as Obi-Wan, for those who didn't know. Have a good day. Like, that's what that'll be, for sure.
Yeah. I like, at best, I think they might talk about how it's going to be an interconnecting story with other shows, or something. Do you know what I mean? I just, which that'd be super cool. But I'm learning to just chill on the stuff that's coming, because otherwise I'll get this vibe. Corey, check it out.
I hope there's something else.
So, Empire, what's going on in the chat? I'm interested. I'm always open for some, you know, constructive criticism. Are we vibe checking too hard this week, or?
I think there's no other way to do it than vibe check the week. You have to. I mean, yeah, I've just kind of gotten to the mindset where, like, as a Star Wars fan, I'm now just going like, okay, so the hype's going to begin when the actual thing drops. Like, no more leading up to it. It's like when the thing drops, that's when it starts. Before then, there's nothing. Maybe a trailer, maybe not.
Joel asks, how connected do you think Kenobi and Cassian will be to the Mandalorian stuff? I would maybe hope to get some crossover characters in Kenobi and Cassian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like maybe a you know, a space Jimmy Smits. Do you know what I mean? That'd be like a good carryover character that could bounce. Could be a new character that bounces, but I think they know that interconnectivity is a big part of the puzzle of what fans like. So if you can, you know, do that, I don't think, you know, I think you've got your pre and New Hope era shows, and then you've got your Mandoverse, and they're gonna do their separate things. But I think they can intertwine. But you know, who knows? They could. When did we? You know, you could get a young Fennec Shan in like a Kenobi or an Andor or something like that.
Yeah,
she's in Bad Batch, so
yeah, I think she would actually,
but probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only real connection to like the Mandoverse stuff is just really I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. Like Fennec Shan's the only thing I can really think of. Maybe like Moff Gideon at some point, perhaps. The younger Moff Gideon.
Oh,
that would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, I'd like that a lot. Can even do Thrawn and Cassian if he shows up in Ahsoka too. You can have a younger version of Thrawn. You could do a lot, honestly, with the Imperial side of things. Could you? I mean, you could honestly. You could throw Din Djarin in an episode of Cassian. No, you can't. Never mind.
Yeah.
Or could you?
Yeah, I think that's a bit much, buddy.
Yeah,
you need to chill out. You need to chill out. And he's a different character then. Like, do you know what I mean? He's different. It's a different type.
I could see them maybe putting Yogru in something.
Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Grogu. Yeah, Grogu. Yes, Grogu.
Yeah, I think going back in time with Grogu's, there's nothing to be gained except to like water it down.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because what's he gonna like? What's the? Is this gonna be cuter? Like, I don't know. I don't really need to know who saves him or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'm just happy. It can be Cypher Deus, even though he's dead. But
why not?
Equally, a Jedi. I was like, oh, I can't wait to find out about this Cypher Deus. Like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
So there's that. What else can that Hasbro Rancor, Corey? Now,
Yeah.
RIP. I'm sad to. I could never actually see it getting over.
Mm-mm.
Well, they need like 1,000 or something, and they're at 5,000.
They need 9,000 backers total, I think.
Okay, so this is for the HasLab thing that previously they had the Razor Crest and the sail barge. So it's like a Black Series 6-inch scale Rancor, and $350. They just announced their last two goals, which is to me is like so like I guess they're just doing everything they can do, but they may as well just throw them all in at 9,000 at this point. Like, do you know what I mean? Just to get people to get it. But they had two more things. So I'm like, oh, well, it's Rancor Keeper and it's Ula. And then, that might get them over the line. Do you know what I mean? Like
everyone was asking for, yeah.
Like
yeah,
two figures that are synonymous with the Rancor and also not like in that Black Series line. And what was that Gamorrean Guard, which I think has already been out.
Yeah.
And then there was a few backdrop bony things. And then the last two figures, a Jedi Luke Skywalker. It doesn't have a glove on for some reason. I'm not sure what's up with that. But just, I did find it hilarious that I'm dying for this Jedi Luke Skywalker from just 5 years later in his life from The Mandalorian. And they put this one in. But
doesn't he not have the glove because it wasn't shot yet on the sail barge?
No. Doesn't he wear a glove? Does he only wear the glove after it gets shot?
Yeah, he puts it on the X-Wing.
Fake fan.
Yeah, man. I'm a little shocked.
No way. Well, I always just think, because the figure's got the glove painted, so I was just like, well, he rocks up, because in all my retellings of Jabba's palace, when he walks into Jabba's palace, he's got the glove on. Out in my backyard, Saunders edition. Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the this one was sort of doomed from the start, because you've got the sail barge in 3 3/4.
Yeah.
That's like a 40-year-old dream.
Yeah.
Or it's almost a 40-year-old dream.
And it came with a lot of cool stuff too.
But it was just had never really been done in any comparable scale. But the thing is with the Rancor, especially in photos, it just looks like a really good Power of the Force, like a Hasbro. Like, it doesn't look that different in the photos from a good version of the Rancor they did for the 3 3/4 inch.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it doesn't really, it's big and it's going to look sick. But when it just doesn't have that, the first time you saw the barge, it was just
yeah, it was
they're playing God.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? This thing, it shouldn't exist. It's so big. And then the Razor Crest was the hottest new Star Wars vehicle since the Naboo Starfighter or something. Do you know what I mean? So those two had a real long-term desire to get, and then a short-term red hot desire to get. Sure, it blew up a week after the thing closed, but what are you going to do? I always find it when people are upset about that. It's just well, I don't know, what did you want them to say? Hey, don't make it. We're going to blow it up. I don't. What's the answer? They've written the story. Yeah. They wanted, there's something that getting rid of that ship has got something to do with like Din's like journey ongoing.
Well, the ship is also still really cool. Like if I pre-ordered that, I'd still be hyped to get it. Yeah, but no, I think to your point, like they had two big hits with the sail barge was, like you said, something people have been asking for years. And then the Razor Crest was timed perfectly with Mandalorian season 2. This is odd, but on top of that, a lot of fans have been saying that they would back it if they added the Rancor Keeper and Ula. And like Hasbro, this is just another look at Hasbro's like weird repack reissue thing where it's now seeping into like HasLab, which is where it's not supposed to be in. You're not supposed to be doing repacks and stuff like this in HasLab because it's meant for the fan that can actually back it and afford it right now. And I think what sucks about it too is like they obviously charge you up front for it. So like you can't back out of it once you've backed it unless it doesn't get backed. Then you can, but it's yeah,
but you shouldn't be able to back out of it. Like that's the whole thing.
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like if you bought it, you bought it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really want more people to do that, though, you have to put more initiative into why they should. When you're
well, the thing is, it's not going to work. And the other thing is, it's like it's quite obvious beforehand it wasn't going to work.
Oh,
like,
they actually lost backers. I just checked. You can back out of it.
Really?
Yeah, because I know it was like 5,000 something this morning. Now it's 4,974.
Oh, because I read someone had tweeted like all like that. They released the last two things, the Salacious Crumb and the Luke, and it only went up 100. Like, do you know what I mean? Which is just like for your big final thing. Like that just shows that you didn't come through with the right combination. And I reckon, like, maybe they don't want to make a dancing girl figure right now. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a different time. But hey, man, crying topless fat guys are still open game. Like
you could even do a couple creatures from Jabba's palace, right? Like creatures they hadn't made yet, or I mean, there's like so many different things you can. You could even add a Jabba, maybe add a Jabba or something. Or they've already made a Jabba. So
what? Add a Jabba? That's another HasLab altogether, buddy.
Well, no, because they did actually make a Jabba already.
Is it like this big?
Yeah, they made one.
But that's the weird thing about the Salacious Crumb. It's like, I'm going to put my Salacious Crumb next to the Rancor. Like, what? It's like the play pattern isn't very odd.
Another vibe check.
Right there.
You can't deny the vibe check.
I'm majorly checked right now. We'll see. We'll see if this won't get backed. There's no way. I'm looking at it right now. It's got 17 days left. You literally need like 4,700 more backers. Yeah. Hopefully that's a lesson. That's a shame. It kind of like I'm looking at other pictures of it. It does look slightly a little cheap. Looks a little cheap.
I don't know. It looks like a big toy. It looks pretty good. What would be your, say they wanted to give the prequels some love? What would be your HasLab item?
I would do Anakin and Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighters from Revenge of the Sith.
That'd be pretty sick.
Because it would be timely too with Kenobi and everything. Like or maybe like a Mustafar playset or something like that. I mean, even a Naboo fighter would be really cool from Phantom Menace, the starship.
Naboo fighter, perfect. Like if you're up for like synergy, that doing Starfighters.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could do that as like a 2-pack of Starfighters with the 2 figures from the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be so cool. They would be able to back that like this.
Back that like this, or this like that?
Like that. Just like that. I would love it. I would actually back that, I think.
I back it, bro.
It would be great.
So Kathleen Kennedy, it looks like has been renewed for another 3 years. I take the confirmation. Oh, here it is. That her husband retweeted this. That it was kind of spot on.
Ooh, Seth Nico says maybe a Republic gunship. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
A Republic gunship.
Yeah.
Well, like a Star Destroyer.
No, like from Attack of the Clones, the gunships that they're in at the end of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but they got pretty there was a lot of variants of those in the 2010s. They had all different paint jobs. Like I feel like that one's.
Yeah, definitely the Starfighters are a better idea.
And like in a 6-inch version, that would be, I reckon, probably a bit big for the demand. But they were like how they did all those different variations of the gunship. Like that was pretty sick. Like, they're just pumping out the same thing, but people liked it.
Oh yeah.
So Frank Marshall retweeted this. There's a culture crave rumor. Kathleen Kennedy has reportedly extended her Lucasfilm contract for another 3 years. And then Eric Vesp, who is a entertainment reporter for Slash Film and places like that, says, how can this be? A bunch of sputtering mad YouTube randos with walls of Funkos behind them. Corey.
Stop.
Said that their uncle cousin's roommate works at Lucasfilm and heard Kennedy was on the way out. So I take that rumor as fact. If
Frank Marshall retweeted it. Yeah, that'd be so weird if he just retweeted it for no reason.
Now we have just spent the last hour complaining about the company.
Yeah.
However, for the most part, we do enjoy the actual content that the company creates. How do you feel, Corey? What do you see this as? What are the pros and cons of this?
Well, I think the thing here is like, what is going on at Lucasfilm to the degree that so many filmmakers are constantly let go or creative differences or this or that. Where's the issue coming from? And ultimately, as a president in any company, you have to determine like why that keeps occurring and make sure that doesn't occur as much as it does.
Can I offer some thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
All right. So I think when looking at it, and I've done up a little scorecard. I love scoring, Corey, anything. So about all the different projects, and we'll talk about the hit rate of what were like pretty universally praised things to ones that weren't. We'll get into that in a second. But I don't think people consider. People always have their idea of what should be in a Star Wars film.
Right.
But these ideas are often vastly different from other people's ideas. I'm not sure if you've ever been on Twitter, but there's tons of different ideas. And I think that making a Star Wars film is hard, if not the hardest type of film to make.
I'd agree, yeah.
Like, because of, like, it's obviously very popular, but it's very popular with an emotional attachment. And quite often that attachment is for different things. And there is this special, I've described it before, Corey, as the Star Wars taco, where you've got your crunchy, your little taco shell and your filling and your lettuce and your cheese and your salsa and maybe some onions, cilantro. That's pretty good. Hey, if you're ever having a burrito, may I suggest fries in that bad boy? But they're all different ingredients that are pretty good by themselves, but together in the right way, delicious. They tried to make Rogue One to be more of a gritty war film. And then they're like, oh, hey, this isn't Star Wars-y enough. So we need to Star Wars it up a bit more, make it a bit softer in its edge. And then with Solo, hey, this is going to be the funny Star Wars film. it's a bit too funny. Like, it's a bit too jokey for a Star Wars film. We're going to bring that back. So, like, I just think, like, these things are very hard because people have these, like, huge differences of opinion about Star Wars, unlike, like, say, Marvel, where you've got these already established characters that have lived, like, 10 lives each in a separate genre. So then you can do all these different, you know, genre films. And it's, I just feel like Star Wars is like, it seems like such a simple story, but to make that simple story attached to, like, so many different types of people is, you know, something that the dude that invented it couldn't always do.
Well, I think the biggest accomplishment from Kathleen Kennedy in the Star Wars world that I think a lot of people fail to give her credit for is The Mandalorian. I mean, this is, and not only that, but Kathleen Kennedy is responsible for bringing back the Clone Wars and doing all this stuff with Disney Plus that she knew would work. And ultimately now we're getting an Obi-Wan series, and we're getting, you know, more Mandalorian stuff. We're getting a Boba Fett series. There's a lot of fan reception going into that they're clearly listening to. And I think what's something really important to note is that a lot of the decisions that happen at Lucasfilm too are also very driven by Disney and Disney CEOs. And Bob Iger has come out as such and said that he is responsible for a lot of the unfortunate events that happened with certain films and whatnot, and that's very important.
Well, I think like that is definitely like a big part of it, and it's also like some people might go, I don't even understand, like, all these directors have changed and whatever, this film didn't like whatever. How do they keep her around? Like, how do they keep her around? And it's like, it might be that they know stuff that, like, we don't.
Yeah.
And, you know, I definitely, well, I think it's like fact that she wanted more time to make some of these films. And Bob Iger's like, oh, no, we've got to stick to this. We've got to stick to this. And, do you know what I mean? If you're like rushed like that, and then like the end product comes out rushed, or, you know, things get missed because you're making like 2 or 3 films at once after making none, then it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, she did the best with the conditions. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not these like cut and dry. There's so many different variables behind the thing, but definitely like the speed of production is something that like how can more time not be better? Especially when you're trying to wrap up, like, you know, I'm hard on The Rise of Skywalker, but it's like, it was like so rushed.
Very rushed. Yeah.
It's sort of like, and sometimes people go, well, if they took their time, like, then it would have been in the pandemic. And it's like, yeah, but that's not that's like a happy coincidence. That's not part of your decision making. That's not part of your decision making in like 2017 or early 2018. Like, that's just like a happenstance where it's just like, whoa, that was like, you know, that like, you like slip over, and then the bird that was swooping at you, you miss it. You don't say, oh wow, good thing I slipped. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think.
Wait, I've got 7 more metaphors. No, I don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't give her credit where credit is due. I think, you know, starting Star Wars up again with Force Awakens and all that, it's a daunting task. I think we're now starting to get into the time where we're seeing things happen in a more fluent direction. I'm really excited to see where next year goes. If they're keeping her around, like you said, I think there's a reason for that we don't know, and it's probably very important. Do I think that the movie side of things is a mess? I definitely do, and I think it's something that they need to figure out, like, before maybe making announcements on that front. But I think they're like TV side of things is nearly perfect with the way that they're giving certain characters their shows and showing love to a certain side of the fandom, and so they're doing great on that end. But yeah, I think they need to get the movie stuff like figured out, but I don't necessarily know if that's her, like, on her, or I don't know who that's on. but it's on someone. And I do think
But when we find out, we will like seek revenge.
Absolutely. We will have the yellow or the red laser eyes in our thumbnails for sure. But yeah, like things happen. I think Disney is more involved in Star Wars than they are with, like, let's say Marvel. So they have their, like, there's more of a, this has to go through Disney first versus where I think Kevin Feige at Marvel gets more of like leisure to do what he wants. Yeah. So, cool, I guess. Like I have no objections whether she stays or not. I think we're getting a lot of exciting stuff.
Yeah. Well, when you look at the separate projects, right? So I wrote them all up, and then I sort of decided whether just on average whether they're a celebrated release or not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like whether it was a win. So The Force Awakens, just giant win.
Yeah.
You're right. So there's one.
Yep.
And that's the reboot sequel. It didn't do anything new. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, that was people's biggest complaint about it was the same.
I think
so
it definitely did what it had to do, which is what was.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, people's main complaint about it was, it's like, not crazy people, I don't count them, but like, some of my friends are, it just was the same sort of story. So like, obviously it's different. You're telling a myth in a different way. So like, I love it, but that would be its complaint. Then, so you had The Force Awakens, that's a win. Rogue One, that's a win, like a bumpy road, but like that seems to be a very popular film, like for all types of fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like The Last Jedi, that's a half and half. So that's like just I'm just going for a broad like generalization. So I'll go TFA up, Rogue One up. Last Jedi, I'll say no because it was mixed. Solo, I'll go no because it was mixed. Do you know what I mean? Definitely didn't make money either. Mando 1, just massive thumbs up. Jump in if you disagree with me. Pross, like, again, like, some people liked it, some people didn't. It's a mix, so I'm going to go a thumbs down. Mando 2, giant thumbs up. So being tough on the reaction, that's like 4 out of 7 that were like resounding thumbs up.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get distracted by the overall negative response that we see everywhere with Last Jedi and stuff. And like, if you take that away.
Yeah, and I should say, for me personally, it's a 6 out of 7.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
And number 7, that's the fault of whoever we're going to give the laser eyes to when we find out who they are.
Amazing. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think for me, my main issue with Lucasfilm isn't the president, isn't that. It's literally always going to be the marketing. Like, that's literally just my my issue with Lucasfilm is their marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that sort of like, you can put that under like the fan experience.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, as a fan, I would like to, exactly, and that's something where like it has nothing to do with like Kathleen Kennedy, really, or like
shout out, and it's just not for me. I don't know who. If it's for you, then like that's like, I'm not dissing, or I'm not dissing the people that like do these articles, but like I get the emails from StarWars.com, and it's like how to bake a Padme like cupcake or something, like how to do, like, and it's sort of just whatever. But it's sort of like that's like, I don't hate. I just go, that's cute, whatever. But like, put some effort into like just like keeping like the people whose favorite thing about Star Wars is actually just talking about Star Wars, like, fed. Like, and it just takes a little bit of effort and creativity, I feel like.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But I do have to say, how long do you reckon it will be before there's a new YouTube video about how Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired? Like, how long a break does this clickbait story get?
I'm sure it's already happened. I guarantee you it's already out there.
They're already regretting it. Laser eyes.
I'm sure there's a whole video of why it's Kathleen Kennedy's fault for Disney Plus Day. I'm sure that's out there.
All right. So James Waterman says, "Hey, what about Rebels and Resistance?" I do have that. The 4 animated series, which I had down as Rebels, Resistance, The Clone Wars, and The Bad Batch. I would, if I'm grading my general praise meter harshly, I would say that's a 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Like I think for like the fan that would watch the cartoon or have that core interest to watch it, there's going to be people that just like, I'm just not watching a Star Wars cartoon. That's just not what I'm about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like that with Marvel. I tried to watch What If, and I was like, it's not for
I'm
just not interested. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I thought like Rebels, like definitely like it. Even if you didn't like some of the plot twists or the characterization, it was very engaging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And fulfilling to watch. Like the Clone Wars was epic. Bad Batch was like surprisingly good. And yeah. I would give the only thumbs down to Resistance. I know people loved it, but I just drifted off. And I feel like it didn't engage like the other cartoons did at all.
I agree. Yeah.
But it was like made for like Disney now or whatever. So
well, that's my thing with Resistance. I've always said that it's like it's not for me. I didn't really watch most of it, but I know there's clearly an audience for it. But yeah,
Corey, would you like to explain today's scoop to clone humor? What will they get if they rewind to the start of the episode?
Rewind, you'll see an exclusive clip from the Ahsoka series finale that includes
previs.
Yes, Zeb played by Daniel Radcliffe and Sabine and Ara Singh's daughter, as well as a special appearance and spoiler of Ezra Bridger. So, you should go and check it out. No one's ever seen it before, and you'll be thrilled.
No spoilers, but R.I.P. Ezra.
Yep.
Alrighty, Corey, I've got to do some Harry picking uppering, so I better head off. But we just clocked in a solid 70 minutes, buddy. So come on, let's go down the bottom. Click all the buttons. Honor and obey the algorithm. If you've got comments, I always go back and check. I'll answer them. It's all good. Engage. Corey, let the good people know where you can be found.
Yeah, you can find me at Corey_Wolfpack on Twitter and Instagram, and then at the Carnivore Call on Twitter and YouTube, where Aubrey and I do live streams every week, and we're going to be doing one on Sunday night. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like cautiously optimistic about D23. We'll see. No, I'm a pretty firm no, but just in case.
No.
Fair enough.
Don't do it. Don't do it, buddy. This will be you. This will be you on the stream Sunday night.
Dude.
So.
Absolutely.
Don't do it to yourself. Do not do it to yourself. But, hey, everyone. Like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. Check out the Patreon for bonus action. 800 back episodes, all that good stuff for this $3 a month. And you can get T-shirts at the link down the bottom at below the collar. But for this episode, it's clearly gone on, Corey.
Long enough.
So, may that force be with you.
Sunday, Monday, Corey days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Corey days. Corey Day. What a day for YouTube. This content is ours. Scoop along with me those Corey days.
Hey, so I didn't want to say this on the show, but Daniel Radcliffe as Zeb, he's just going to keep his English accent.
Oh.
And instead of Carabas, he's going to go golly gosh, which could piss some people off.
I heard he's also keeping the feet.
Yeah, they're his feet, mate. That's canon. It's the way Macquarie wanted them, buddy.
No, just in his everyday life.
Never wants to see a wizard's wand again, but wears the feet of Zed.
Correct.
And people question Kathleen Kennedy, indeed.